Hey, what's up, everybody, and welcome back to another Fitness Goal Friday episode. I'm super pumped that you guys are here because you're the type of person who actually wants to take action, who's actually willing to be committed, because so many people talk a big game. They talk about how they want to start being healthier, they want to start eating healthier, they want to start eating less sweets, they want to start drinking more water, they want to start that new fitness routine, but so few people actually take action or at least stay committed to the action that they're taking long term. So I'm pumped that you're here because you're the type of person who is willing to take action to get closer to their fitness goals. If you were with me last week, we talked about how easy it is to convince ourselves that we're incapable of something that we're fully capable of. I talked about a few of my clients' story. I talked about my own story when I was running on the treadmill. And if you feel like that might be you, if you feel like you convince yourself that you're less than, if you feel like you convince yourself that you're not capable of something, but you really might be capable of it, then I want you to make sure that you go back and listen to that episode. Today, I want to talk about how perfection is more about consistency than it is intensity. You see, one of the biggest things when I talk to people when they first join my 10-week program is they think they need to do so many things in order to hit their goal. And I'm going to go ahead and jump right into a story. I have a girl that I'm coaching right now. She's in week 2 of her program at the time that I'm recording this. And she set the goal of wanting to lose 15 pounds. And I was like, awesome. We landed on that goal, and we thought that goal was both worthy and winnable. We thought it was something that would be meaningful to her, and we thought it was something that was winnable, that she believed that she was able to do. And once we set that goal, we started to talk about the strategy, what workouts look like, what meals look like, what water intake looks like, and all that kind of thing. And she already came to me with the idea that she wanted to work out 5 times a week, that she wanted to eat 12 healthy meals per week. And those were really focused on lunches and dinners. So essentially 2 healthy lunches and dinners 6 times a week. And then she wanted to drink 96 ounces of water every single week. And so I saw that and I was like, that's awesome. But that was before we really had a conversation about it. And then I asked her about how often she had been working out. And she's like, well, very rarely, 1 time a week, every once in a while. And then with her healthy meals, she eats out a lot and doesn't really make anything as much for herself. And so the 12 healthy meals, I was like, I don't really know if that's doable. And then how are you drinking with water? And she's like, oh, well, I'm not very good. Like I drink some soda sometimes, maybe a few glasses of water. And so some of you might be there right now. And what the problem is that you see somebody on Instagram or you know somebody who's in really good shape and you ask them what they do or you observe what they do. And maybe they're working out 5 times a week. They're eating 12 healthy meals or they're eating really, really healthy and they're drinking so much water. And so you think like, okay, if I want to get to my goal, then I have to do what they do. I have to have a high level of intensity with my strategy. I have to really get after it. I have to be perfect in order to achieve the goal I want to achieve. Or in this girl's case, she thought that she had to be perfect in order to lose the 15 pounds that she wants to lose. When the reality of the situation is that is just not true. There's a few different reasons for it. Number one is intensity doesn't lead to consistency. Consistency leads to longevity. Intensity leads to burnout, because intensity, if you're like really, really healthy and you're super, super strict with your dieting and you work out 7 times a week, then you're going to get burned out really quickly if that's not even close to what you were doing in the past. So intensity leads to burnout, but consistency leads to longevity. And so to kind of get back to this client story, instead of working out 5 times a week, we backed it down to 4 times. And I thought that was doable because she was super committed, and there was going to be 2 times a week where she was actually meeting me in person. So we kind of already had those checked off, and that we felt like she could get in a couple more herself. So we backed it down to 4. She thought she needed 12 healthy meals per week, but we actually backed it down to 10. And is because, again, she wasn't all that used to cooking for herself. Her diet wasn't really all that great. And so we backed it down to something that was a little bit more workable. And then the third one with water, we backed it down from 96 ounces of water to 80 ounces of water. And then when we did that, she asked me, well, do you think I can still achieve the goal? And my answer was 100%. Yes, you can. You see, so many people think, again, that they have to take super intense action in order to get the results that they want. But in the reality of the situation is, most of the time, you have to do a little bit better than what you're currently doing, or a decent amount better than what you're currently doing, over a long period of time. And like this girl, she's got 10 weeks with me. So she has to do a little bit better than what she's been doing in the past over the 10 weeks. And I guarantee you, if she follows through with these things, she's only in week 2 right now, but I guarantee you, if she follows through with these things, then she is going to be successful with that goal of losing 15 pounds. Now, to go back over to talk about the consistency over intensity thing, I'm not saying intensity is bad, like generally speaking. What I'm saying is that the level of intensity that you take, or the level of intensity that the action is that you take, needs to be defined based off of where you're coming from and what you've been willing and able to do in the past, which is why I brought you through like what she had been doing in the past and what we think that upgrade can be. So instead of just going freaking all out right off the bat, we backed it down to something that she could be a little bit more consistent with. So whenever you go about attacking your next fitness goal or thinking about your next fitness goal, don't base your strategy off of what you see somebody on Instagram doing or what you see somebody on YouTube doing or what they tell you they're doing, because they're coming from a very different spot than you. They might be coming from a little bit more an advanced spot, or maybe they're coming from a less advanced spot. But you need to base your strategy off of where you're coming from. And you need to do a little bit more than what you've been willing and able to do in the past. Again, because consistency leads to longevity. Intensity leads to burnout. Let me say that one more time. Consistency leads to longevity. Intensity leads to burnout. I was on another podcast yesterday, 2 days ago, can't remember exactly what it was. And we talked about how one of my favorite things I like to say, and I have to remind myself honestly, is that success is supposed to take time because it requires of you to build the habits that you need in order to sustain it. Let me say that again. Success is supposed to take time because it requires of you to build the habits that you need in order to sustain it. That's why lottery winners never hold on to their money, because it never took time for them to build any habits in order to acquire that money. So they don't have any habits in order to sustain it. They're going to blow it really quickly. And that's with any kind of success. Like, it's supposed to take time because the only way that you're going to be able to hold on to that level of success is if you've put in the legwork, you've put in the grunt work, you've put in the blood, sweat, and tears to be able to sustain that level of success. So consistency over intensity. I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. If you liked it, make sure you share it with a friend, because I guarantee you have a friend that is chasing down a fitness goal right now. Whether they told you or not, they're probably chasing down a fitness goal. Everybody is. Everybody is trying to get to the next level with their health and fitness, whether they're super beginner or they're super advanced. Most people want to get to the next level. So make sure you share this episode with them because it's applicable to them and their life. So share it with them. Make sure you subscribe to the podcast. Make sure you rate and review it, because that's going to be the best way that you can help support the show and you can help it move up the ranks. And most importantly to me, that's the way that we can get it in the most ears possible so that people can start applying these things, because I believe so strongly in the power of the principles and the power of the lessons that I'm explaining and that I'm teaching in these episodes. So share it with somebody so that you can get closer to your best you, but also that they can get closer and closer to their best them. Let's go to work.